Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's session titled Cloud Migrations at Scale. This is something of a deep dive into some of the issues that large-scale Atlassian cloud migrations might face, and a discussion of the related supports and technical expertise your organization can leverage to ensure that your move to Atlassian Cloud can go smoothly. This session is brought to you today by Avant Systems Group, an Atlassian Platinum Solution Partner with headquarters in Winnipeg, Canada, and offices across the country. Thanks for joining us this morning, everyone. Let's get started. First off, a quick agenda of what we're going to cover today. We'll do a quick introduction to Avant Systems Group, tell you a little bit about who we are, before diving into our subject matter for today's session, cloud migrations at scale, some of the difficulties surrounding moving to Atlassian Cloud, and what makes the effort to move worth it for large organizations. Next, we'll talk about the available resources that exist for enterprise scale cloud migrations. Atlassian never recommends doing this alone, and there are a number of different support options your organization could leverage as an enterprise client to get the job done. We'll briefly discuss the Atlassian Access product and the role that it plays in ensuring security and user management across your organization. And finally, we'll look at what options there are in terms of migration support for third-party apps that may or may not be available in the cloud, and what you can do to bridge some of those gaps. A little about myself. My name is Adam Rothenberger, Marketing Manager at Avant Systems Group, and your presenter for this morning. I've worked in various capacities throughout my career, notably in the graphic design, branding, web design, and digital advertising spaces. Over the past year or so with Avant, I've obtained a number of Atlassian accreditations, including marketing professional from Atlassian and cloud technical sales professional from the Atlassian Enablement Academy. I'm also just one of several guitar players and musicians at Avant, with a significant collection of guitars to my name. Avant Systems Group is an innovative IT consulting company specializing in Atlassian products. Our team spans coast to coast with employees in 6 different provinces here in Canada. Our expertise comes from more than 25 years of software development and consulting. We're passionate about software development tools, processes, and sharing that expertise with our clients to drive success. As an enterprise Atlassian solution partner, Avant has gained extensive experience working with, implementing, and supporting Atlassian tools for a broad range of customers, from large enterprises to innovative startups across a wide range of industries. So we are highly trained and committed to providing a full range of Atlassian support services, including license management, application admin, migration support, managed hosting, custom add-on development, and agile training and coaching. As a dedicated Atlassian solution partner, we work to distinguish ourselves by providing services and expertise in licensing, setup and configuration of Atlassian products, product migrations, post-purchase support, and custom configurations for products in the Atlassian ecosystem. If you're working with or interested in working with Atlassian tools in your organization, I would encourage you to reach out to us for partner purchasing advantages and a single point of contact for Atlassian product support. The products we promote, of course, come from Atlassian. We deploy products like Jira, Confluence, and Bitbucket to provide solutions in several different areas for our clients, including ITSM and asset management, product procurement, QA and test management, SDLC, facilities, collaboration and document, ESM, DevOps, and project and portfolio management, to name just a few. Of course, we wouldn't be here without the support of our incredible client base. Avant has been extremely fortunate to have worked with these organizations and many others to implement and offer continued support for Atlassian solutions over the past decade. So now that you know who we are, let's get to why we're here this morning and discuss why moving to cloud is both a good idea and somewhat vital to do, recognizing that Atlassian server products are being end-of-lifed in February of 2024. It seems like a long while out, but it's really not if you're considering a large-scale cloud migration. So that's something to definitely keep in mind when going through the session this morning. This webinar has been constructed as something of a follow-up to our last webinar on Enterprise Cloud with Atlassian, which goes deeper into the benefits of a cloud or SaaS-based infrastructure for large enterprises. If you haven't seen it, I'd encourage you to check that out on our website after the session this morning. To summarize from that session, though, there are a few problems that enterprise organizations face today, both internally and externally, that can see some swift resolutions with a cloud or SaaS infrastructure managing work for them. Inside the organization, teams are often dispersed in terms of geography and also in terms of their own departments and core teams of individuals. Under the old model, departments and teams become siloed without visibility into what other teams and departments are doing, making collaboration toward larger corporate goals a little bit difficult. Outside the organization, external forces are keeping leaders on the hunt for a competitive edge, a desire to be on the cutting edge of digital transformation, and maintaining organizational growth. Cloud-type deployments using Atlassian products aim to eliminate some of these concerns in a number of ways. When an entire organization is operating off an Atlassian Cloud site, teams can work together and share information in ways that were previously not really possible, and it can be done at a massive scale. The result of this kind of infrastructure and a single source of truth for an organization's information can be shown in several ways. For example, things speed up. There's the ability to scale faster and accelerate your time to market, to ship new products and services much quicker. You'll also notice increased productivity. Cloud reduces the total cost of hardware ownership, lowering costs there in the long run, and also by eliminating information bottlenecks between departments. And lastly, innovation increases when teams work in cloud-based solutions, which unlocks new growth curves. Employees can use this time saved to future-proof skill sets and strategize on new integrations with other cloud systems, usually leading to automated and smarter workflows. So how do Atlassian products do it? To begin with, the products are built for scale and for all kinds of teams. Atlassian provides cloud collaboration solutions for large teams in all corners of your organization, with all tech and non-tech teams working in the cloud across Atlassian tools. Your organization can benefit from an open infrastructure that promotes collaboration, productivity, visibility, and innovation. Businesses see the biggest benefit when these products are used in tandem. IT teams, in particular, have a central role in companies with a lot of partnering and monitoring requirements there. Implementing Atlassian Cloud solutions across an enterprise empowers them to provide services on the same solutions that their team members are using. Additionally, there's an overarching security solution called Atlassian Access. Access is your enterprise-wide subscription for enhanced security and administration that works across every Atlassian Cloud product used at your organization. We'll talk a little bit more about Access shortly here. So now that we know why a move to cloud is generally a good idea, let's have a look at how to go about getting there if you're still on-prem. One of the most important things to be aware of when you're looking at an enterprise scale cloud migration is the number of expert resources and real assistance that's available from Atlassian and its partners. Atlassian recognizes that for the companies that have invested in Atlassian tools to run their businesses, to pull these long-standing server instances out from under them could be problematic. So they've made a significant investment in making sure that long-time Atlassian on-prem clients can make a relatively smooth transition to cloud, and also in the cloud products themselves to maintain feature parity and provide improved features at a comparable cost. So like I mentioned, it's beneficial to start the process of a large cloud migration by starting communication with a few different parties. From Atlassian itself, an enterprise advocate is available to help at the initial assessment stage of your migration to make sure that you understand the benefits and true suitability of Atlassian Cloud for your organization. At the same time, Atlassian provides a technical account manager, or TAM, to provide strategic guidance on your move and to help ensure that you're getting the most out of your Atlassian Cloud tool set. And finally, Atlassian operates something called the Solution Partner Program, of which Avant Systems Group is a part at the highest level. Atlassian recommends enlisting the assistance of a solution partner to operate the hands-on work requirements relating to a large-scale cloud migration. When you reach the planning phase of your migration, an Atlassian Cloud Migration Manager becomes available for enterprise customers with more than 1,000 users. These individuals will work with your organization, your TAM, and your solution partner to create, then operate the runbook that will bring your organization into cloud and manage any roadblocks along the way. Customer success managers from Atlassian are introduced at the preparation stage of your migration and assist by ensuring that you've got a solid change management plan in place to ease the transition to cloud for your employees so that they can be up and running on day one with minimal overall disruption. And finally, when you move into testing, a dedicated migration support engineer is available to work with your cloud migration team to assist with technical troubleshooting as needed. So the overall process of a cloud migration of scale can be daunting to achieve using your own internal resources, which is why Atlassian offers these supports to enterprise customers. As we mentioned before, Atlassian also trains solution partner organizations to lend the physical effort required for cloud migration work, and provides specialized training certifications to solution partners specific to these implementations. So if you don't have an IT division that's capable of navigating this kind of one-off migration work, you're not going to be doing this, probably more than once. Soliciting a solution partner to handle the bulk of it is probably the path of least resistance, both financially and logistically speaking, for a large-scale migration to cloud. In that situation, your IT division and other organization stakeholders just need to act as the subject matter experts for your organization's internal processes and requirements. Avant Systems Group obtained its Atlassian Cloud specialization status earlier this year, and is one of only 19 solution partners around the globe who've done so. We've been vetted by many clients and worked with Atlassian itself to develop much of the tooling that makes cloud migration projects possible. We're extremely well trained for this kind of work and happy to help. Moving on to some of the other considerations you'll want to think about before making a move to cloud is how you can leverage this opportunity for the better in the long term. A cloud migration is, in a nutshell, an act of picking up all the data that's important to you and moving it to a new location, not unlike moving into a new house. Usually there's a lot more space to organize things in the new location, so instead of putting all your dishes into a single cupboard, you can reorganize and make good use of your space so plates and cups and cutlery are easier to find. It's a silly analogy a little bit, but a potential part of a large-scale cloud migration carries a similar kind of opportunity to organize the way your data and reorganize the way your instances are working so that they can take advantage of what Atlassian Enterprise Cloud products have to offer and work more intelligently for your teams. So if you decide to reconfigure your Atlassian footprint while migrating to cloud, the approach will likely either include consolidating or splitting your instances. For example, if you have multiple Jira instances that have been spun up by different teams over time, it may make sense to entertain a consolidation effort, bringing some or all of those teams together on a single Jira instance while retaining their own respective projects. Advantages to doing this can include a simplified administration effort for Jira admins and greater opportunity for collaboration between those different teams that were otherwise segregated. On the other hand, if your teams are currently working out of one or only a handful of instances, it could be beneficial to take teams that are genuinely unrelated and provide them each with a Jira instance for themselves. In either event, Atlassian Enterprise Cloud allows you to spin up and shut down Jira instances as needed without incurring extra costs. So that offers maximum flexibility for whatever scenario you find yourself in. Another component to moving involves reducing the clutter and doing away with items that you no longer need before making your move. Having less to move makes moving to a new house easier, and the exact same is true when talking about Atlassian Cloud migrations. So if you think about your future migration to cloud in terms of how much stuff you've got to move, entertaining that kind of cleanup ahead of time is going to reduce the complexity of the migration itself and the likelihood of running into problems when it's in progress. Things like overall size, the number of products, users, and apps make up something that we call data shape, which can have a profound effect on how long a migration will take and is a representation of how complex and time-consuming your migration might be. So from that standpoint, entertaining a cleanup exercise of your Atlassian instances before moving to cloud can have a pretty drastic impact on what your data shape ultimately looks like. We have a number of clients who have opted instead to simply archive their existing server instances and start fresh in the cloud, which is by and large the simplest way to make a move to cloud logistically, but in terms of large-scale enterprise organizations, this isn't typically feasible. So one of the ways that you can approach a cleanup effort on your instances is to set up retention dates for your data. For example, if you've got projects that haven't been touched in a certain length of time, it could be a good candidate to leave behind on your server. There will be stakeholders at a lot of levels of your organization that would want a say in this, so it's important to speak to them to ensure everything that's vital is properly considered. Solution partners can be invaluable in this situation to help navigate some of those challenges regarding this effort. So it's good to engage with them early on to look at the state of your instances and what data is truly necessary to keep. Once you have a good idea of what's really needed, the actual cleanup effort can begin on your instances, which can be achieved by running queries on your data to isolate those items that are no longer needed. There are a few more considerations to factor in when making a move to cloud that might be handled somewhat differently in that environment compared to an on-prem implementation. Chief among them is migration of user accounts and the way that they're managed. If you're on-prem right now, you might be using Atlassian Cloud to handle user identity management. In the cloud, however, Atlassian Access fills this role on behalf of all your organization's users and is included for free with Atlassian Enterprise Cloud. Another one of the things that needs to be investigated is what third-party apps look like in a cloud environment. It is altogether likely that some apps that you've got deployed on-prem aren't available in the cloud, or if they are, features might not be identical, clear migration paths may not exist. This is often one of the more difficult things to overcome when planning a cloud migration, so it's good to leverage solution partner expertise in this area. I know firsthand that we can identify a sizable number of difficult third-party apps to migrate just by looking through your list, and we built relationships with many app vendors to help navigate these kinds of difficulties for our clients. Before I move on to our next point, I wanted to mention that we've developed something of a cloud complexity assessment tool that collects some basic confidential information about your Atlassian implementation and provides a quick report on what your organization's overall complexity might look like. If you're curious about where your organization might reside in the grand scheme of things, I'd encourage you to give it a try. You can find it on our website at avant.ca/cloud-migration-assessment. So in Atlassian Cloud, you'll be provided with a cloud administration panel, which is new if you're on-prem. And this allows your organization's new cloud site administrator to manage your Atlassian product instances, users, and security features. From there, you can subscribe to Atlassian Access to configure SAML SSO with an identity provider of your choice. User provisioning through Access allows you to sync users from your identity provider throughout your Atlassian Cloud product instances as needed. And as we mentioned before, Access is included free of charge when you're on an enterprise cloud subscription, and it provides a number of other enterprise grade user management and security features over the standard and premium product plans as well. So now we'll talk briefly about what the situation looks like when there's a need for third-party app data to be migrated into the cloud. It's pretty likely that at least some of the functionality that your marketplace apps are providing right now would be pretty sorely missed if they were absent in your new cloud environment. But the good news is that that state of affairs for app data migration has improved pretty significantly in the last few years since server end of life was announced. For most enterprise customers, third-party marketplace apps are an integral part of the way your organization's teams execute their work on the platform. It's also likely that multiple apps are being actively used with each of your Atlassian products. If that's the case, it's particularly beneficial to enlist the help of a solution partner to assist with navigating this component of a migration, as it tends to be the most complex. Avant has built relationships with a number of app vendors for commonly used apps to create runbooks and migration paths that might not otherwise exist, and has also worked with Atlassian directly to create many of the tools they provide to address app migration challenges. One of those tools are the Atlassian Cloud Migration Assistant, or CMA apps, which can be downloaded for free from the Atlassian Marketplace. These apps help to provide a detailed assessment of the apps that you have on board right now. They help you flag which ones are not needed or needed in the cloud, and articulate which of them may not have clear migration paths for data, or if that app exists for the cloud at all. When our Atlassian consultants start work on a migration with a client, the CMA tools are something that we use to help assess how complex the migration will ultimately be. But this is something any Jira or Confluence admin could put into place in an on-prem instance and start the process for if you were looking to get a better idea of your own migration complexity ahead of time. So the last thing to really be aware of when you're looking at a cloud migration of any size is that you can potentially leverage some of the financial incentives that coincide with committing to a cloud migration. Atlassian offers a free cloud migration trial to active server and data center clients who are looking to move to cloud with more than 1,000 active users. This trial allows you to test out the cloud product if you haven't done so already. These trials will match the user tier that you have on-prem, and allow you to test drive cloud-only features before bringing them into your organization. The cloud trial in this situation lasts as long as your on-prem license is good for, As solution partners, we often leverage the cloud migration trial and this dual licensing scenario for our clients to ease the transition from a financial perspective, so you're not paying to keep two implementations running at one time. It also allows a bit of breathing room for a more phased migration approach without additional financial pressure through that process. So that concludes our session for today, everyone. If you have any questions about the presentation or are looking for more information regarding how to start an Atlassian migration for your organization, I hope you'll reach out to us via the information here or find us at our website at avant.ca. We're happy to talk through your organization's requirements and work out what kind of approach will work best to get you into the cloud. Thank you so much for coming, everyone. Have a great day.